The massive alien ships appeared in Earth's orbit on a quiet Tuesday morning. Their sleek, crystalline vessels dwarfed humanity's largest space stations, casting long shadows over the cities below. The world held its breath, watching as the first official contact between humanity and alien life unfolded. The Galactic Council's fleet, led by their flagship, Star Sovereign, positioned itself in a display of overwhelming power. Their message was broadcast simultaneously across all Earth's communication channels. The alien-appointed ambassador, who called himself James, appeared on screens worldwide. His almost human appearance was unsettling. Too perfect, too symmetrical. "People of Earth," James began, his voice carrying an artificial warmth. "The Galactic Council welcomes you to the greater community of spacefaring races." His practiced smile didn't reach his eyes. "We have watched your development with great interest. Now we offer you protection and guidance as a protectorate of the Council." In the United Earth Defense Headquarters beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Robert Mason watched the transmission with narrowed eyes. 30 years of military service had taught him to recognize a threat wrapped in diplomatic niceties. Around him, the command center hummed with activity as analysts and officers assessed the alien fleet's capabilities. "They're scanning our defenses," reported Lieutenant Lisa Walker, her fingers flying over holographic displays. "Their energy readings are off the charts, sir." Mason nodded grimly. "And they're positioning themselves over our major cities." Classic intimidation tactics. The world's leaders gathered in an emergency virtual conference. The alien ultimatum was simple. Earth could accept protectorate status willingly and submit to Council authority, or face diplomatic consequences. They had 24 hours to decide. What the Council didn't know was that humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. Since discovering the first alien signals 50 years ago, Earth had quietly built up its defenses. Hidden bases on Mars and beneath the lunar surface housed fleets of advanced ships. Quantum radar arrays tracked every move of the Council vessels. In the secret underwater facility off the coast of New Zealand, Dr. Anna Peters reviewed the alien tech analysis. "Their shields operate on predictable frequencies," she reported to the Defense Council. "They haven't innovated in centuries. They think they're untouchable." The Council's ambassador James returned the next day, his artificial smile still in place. He stood before the United Nations, looking down at the assembled human representatives. "Have you made your decision? Will Earth accept the Council's generous offer of protection?" World President Michael Chen stood up, his expression stern. "We have considered your offer carefully, Ambassador." He paused, making eye contact with the alien diplomat. "Earth respectfully declines." James's perfect features showed the first crack of genuine emotion. "Surprise. Perhaps you don't understand the consequences of refusing Council protection. We have overseen the development of thousands of young civilizations. None have ever rejected our guidance." "We understand perfectly," Chen replied. "We also understand that protection is another word for control. Humanity will chart its own course among the stars." The ambassador's facade cracked further. "Then you leave us no choice. The Council will have to demonstrate why resistance is unwise." He turned to leave, then stopped. "Your primitive defenses cannot hope to stand against Council technology. Submit now, and we will be merciful." General Mason watched the exchange from the command center. "Primitive defenses," he muttered. "Time to show them how primitive we really are." He turned to his staff. "Initialize Defense Protocol Alpha. Let's give our visitors a proper Earth welcome." As James returned to his ship, the first phase of humanity's response was already in motion. Quantum computers began cracking alien communication codes. Stealth satellites moved into attack positions. Hidden missile silos opened their doors. The Council fleet never saw it coming. They had expected a primitive civilization cowering before their superior technology. Instead, they faced a species that had spent decades preparing for this very moment. The stage was set. Humanity was ready to show the galaxy that Earth wouldn't bow to anyone's demands. The real question wasn't whether Earth could survive the coming conflict. It was whether the Galactic Council was prepared for humanity's response. In orbit, the alien ships began moving into attack formation, still unaware that they had just made the biggest mistake in Council history. They had underestimated humanity's determination to remain free. The first battle for Earth's independence was about to begin. The Council fleet made their first move at dawn. Their massive ships descended through Earth's atmosphere, energy weapons charging. They expected a swift victory, a short, brutal demonstration of power that would force humanity to submit. They were wrong. General Mason stood in the command center, watching the tactical display as red dots representing Council ships moved into attack position. All defense stations, this is command. Execute Operation Thunderclap. Across the globe, hidden installations whirred to life. What appeared to be ordinary mountains split open, revealing advanced missile batteries. Underwater bases activated their defense systems. In orbit, stealth satellites shed their civilian disguises. The Council ships fired their first shots at military bases in North America. Their energy beams sliced through the air and hit nothing. The bases they targeted were holograms, part of an elaborate deception network built over decades. "Sir, enemy ships are in position," Lieutenant Walker reported. "They've taken the bait." Mason allowed himself a small smile. "Launch countermeasures. Let's show them what Earth can do." The first wave of human attacks caught the Council completely off guard. Quantum-guided missiles phased through their supposedly impenetrable shields. The aliens had never encountered weapons that could ignore their defensive technologies. On board the Council flagship, Ambassador James watched in horror as 3 of their heavy cruisers exploded simultaneously. Impossible. Their weapons are functioning at a level far beyond their development stage. Earth's real military bases revealed themselves. Hidden hangars opened, launching swarms of fighter craft. Unlike the bulky Council ships, Earth's vessels were small, agile, and packed with experimental technology. Dr. Peters coordinated the electronic warfare campaign from her underwater command post. "Initiating cyber assault," she announced. The Council's sophisticated communication network suddenly filled with garbage data, their coordination falling apart. The alien ships tried to regroup, but Earth's defenders had studied their tactics for years. Every Council strategy had a counter already prepared. When they attempted to form a defensive sphere, quantum torpedoes struck from multiple dimensions. When they tried to retreat to higher orbit, they found their engines mysteriously failing. "Status report," Mason demanded, watching the battle unfold. 6 enemy capital ships disabled. Walker responded. "Their formation is breaking. They're trying to adapt to our attack patterns, but our AI is predicting and countering their moves faster than they can execute them." In space, the battle looked like a dance of lights. Council energy beams sliced through empty air, while Earth's fighters executed impossible maneuvers. Decades of reverse engineering alien technology had given humanity an edge. They understood how Council tech worked, but the Council had no experience with Earth's innovations. James watched his mighty fleet falling into chaos. "This is impossible. You're supposed to be primitives. How did you develop these technologies?" President Chen's voice came through on all channels. "We learned from watching you, Ambassador. Every ship you sent to observe Earth, every probe you thought we didn't detect, they all taught us something. We've been preparing for this day since we first detected your signals 50 years ago." The battle reached its peak when Earth unveiled its masterstroke. Hidden lunar bases activated massive gravity generators, creating artificial gravity wells that trapped the largest Council ships. The aliens found their mighty vessels helpless, caught like flies in amber. "Enemy fleet is neutralized," Walker reported. 70% of their ships are disabled. The rest are retreating." Mason nodded grimly. "Send the message." All across Earth's communications networks, a simple transmission went out to the remaining Council ships. "This was just our first line of defense. Reconsider your choices carefully." The surviving Council vessels flood, jumping to faster-than-light travel as soon as they cleared Earth's gravity well. They left behind their damaged ships, their wounded, and their certainty of superiority. In the aftermath, humanity began salvaging the disabled Council vessels. Each one was a treasure trove of technology, despite Earth already possessing countermeasures to most of their systems. "They'll be back," Mason said, studying the battle reports. "And next time, they'll be better prepared." Dr. Peters smiled. "So will we." Every second of this battle gave us new data. We've already started analyzing their weaknesses. The first battle for Earth was over. Humanity had proven itself far more dangerous than the Council expected. But this was just the beginning. The real war was about to start, and Earth was ready to show the galaxy just how fierce humanity could be when fighting for its freedom. The Galactic Council's initial defeat shocked the galaxy, but Earth was just getting started. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, humanity's true military might was stirring to life. The Mars Defense Complex, hidden for 30 years, was finally ready to reveal itself. Colonel David White stood in the vast underground hangar, watching as thousands of lights flickered to life, illuminating rows of sleek warships. These weren't the small fighters that had repelled the first attack. These were Earth's real weapons of war. "All systems are go," reported Captain Mark Rogers, his voice echoing through the massive chamber. "The fleet is ready for launch." The ceiling of the Martian hangar split open, revealing the rust-red sky above. One by one, Earth's hidden fleet rose from the depths of Mars. Each ship incorporated technology reverse-engineered from decades of studying Council debris and intercepted transmissions. Back on Earth, Dr. Peters led the briefing for Operation Revelation. "Our ships combine Council tech with human innovation," she explained to the assembled commanders. "Their weapons are based on their technology, but we've modified them in ways they never imagined." The Earth Fleet's flagship, humanity's pride, emerged last from the Martian base. Its hull gleamed with a special coating that absorbed energy weapons. Inside, crew members worked at stations that mixed alien tech with human ingenuity. "The Council thinks they know our capabilities," General Mason addressed the fleet crews via hologram. "They judge us by the defensive battle we just fought. They have no idea what's coming." In deep space, Council surveillance posts detected the massive fleet launching from Mars. Their sensors initially rejected the data as impossible. When confirmation came, panic spread through Council space. The Earth fleet's first target was a Council forward base in the asteroid belt. The alien commanders there had barely enough time to send warnings before Earth ships emerged from quantum space around them. "Look at their faces," Captain Rogers said, watching the Council commanders through intercepted video feeds. "They never expected us to have quantum drive technology." The Earth fleet demonstrated capabilities that made their earlier defense seem primitive by comparison. Ships phased through solid matter, weapons fired from impossible angles, and human crews operated with a coordination that stunned their enemies. Dr. Peters monitored the battle from Earth. "Their sensors can't track our quantum signatures," she reported. "Every time they think they have a fix on our ships, we're already somewhere else." The Council base fell within hours. Earth forces captured intact alien technology, databases, and most importantly, strategic information about Council military positions throughout the solar system. "Their entire defense network is based on predictable patterns," Colonel White observed, studying the captured data. "They haven't faced a real challenge in centuries. They'd forgotten how to adapt." Earth's fleet split into 3 battle groups. The first continued clearing the solar system. The second began establishing defensive positions using technology that made them invisible to Council sensors. The third prepared for deep space operations. In the Council's central command, alarm spread as reports flooded in. Earth ships were appearing and disappearing at will, striking targets the Council thought were secret and displaying technology that should have been impossible for a primitive species to develop. "How did we miss this?" one Council leader demanded. "How did they build all this without us knowing?" The answer was simple. Humanity had learned the value of deception. While the Council watched Earth's official space program, the real work happened in secret. Every visible advancement had hidden a dozen more significant developments. On the bridge of humanity's pride, Colonel White prepared for the next phase. The Council thought they were watching us develop, he said to his crew. Instead, we were watching them, learning their weaknesses, preparing for this moment. Dr. Peters' voice came through the command channel. We're detecting large Council fleets mobilizing. They're finally taking us seriously. Good, General Mason replied from Earth. It's time they learned what humanity is really capable of. All ships, prepare for Phase 2 of Operation Revelation. The Earth fleet formed up, their quantum drives humming with power. Humanity had spent decades preparing this arsenal in secret. Now, it was time to show the galaxy why Earth should never have been underestimated. The real war was about to begin, and Earth's hidden arsenal was ready to change the face of galactic warfare forever. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council erupted in chaos. Hundreds of alien representatives shouted and argued as footage of Earth's victories played on massive screens. The oldest council races watched in stunned silence as their military superiority crumbled before their eyes. Ambassador Tom Miller, Earth's first official representative to the council, stood calmly at the speaker's podium. Unlike his alien counterparts, he wore a simple black suit. His presence here was itself a victory. The council had no choice but to acknowledge Earth as a major power. Your mistake, Miller addressed the assembly, his voice cutting through the noise, was thinking that watching us meant you understood us. You saw what we wanted you to see. The council chamber's walls displayed real-time updates of the ongoing conflicts. Earth ships were systematically dismantling Council military installations throughout nearby space. Each victory sparked new arguments among the assembled representatives. The humans must be stopped, thundered the ancient Council leader, his crystalline form glowing with anger. They threaten the stability we have maintained for 10,000 years. But not everyone agreed. The younger races in the Council saw something different in Earth's rise. They saw hope. Why should we fear them? Asked the representative of a newly spacefaring species. They fight only because you tried to enslave them. They defend their freedom, just as we wish we could defend ours. Political alliances that had stood for centuries began to crack. The younger Council races, long tired of the older species' dominance, found inspiration in Earth's defiance. Secret communications flew between their worlds and Earth's diplomats. Dr. Peters, attending the session as a technical advisor, watched the political drama unfold. They're finally realizing, she whispered to Miller, that their technology hasn't advanced in centuries because they stopped innovating. They stopped adapting. The Council's head of military affairs tried to restore confidence. We still outnumber them. Our combined fleets can crush this rebellion. Miller stepped forward again. Can they? Your fleets are designed to fight the wars of the past. We're fighting the war of the future. While you relied on size and numbers, we focused on innovation and adaptation. Holographic displays showed Earth ships using tactics never seen in galactic warfare. They phased through solid matter, turned enemy weapons against their own ships, and moved in ways that defied conventional space combat doctrine. Look at how they fight, the representative from another young race pointed out. They don't just copy our technology. They improve it. They find new ways to use it. When was the last time any of us did that? The Council chamber descended into separate groups, with younger races gathering to discuss their options. The older races huddled together, their previous confidence shattered. We demand Earth submit to Council authority. The Council leader tried one last time. The stability of the galaxy depends on order. Miller's response was calm but firm. No. The galaxy's future depends on growth, on change, on the freedom to develop without interference. You call it chaos. We call it evolution. More battle reports arrived. Earth's fleets had secured the entire solar system and were expanding their sphere of influence. But notably, they only engaged military targets. Civilian worlds were left untouched, even those belonging to hostile council races. They show restraint, observed one neutral representative. They fight with purpose, not malice. The political landscape of the galaxy was shifting. Younger races began formally withdrawing from Council military agreements. Some openly declared support for Earth. The Grand Alliance that had controlled the galaxy for millennia was unraveling. "This session is adjourned," the Council leader declared, trying to prevent further defections. But everyone knew it was too late. The Council's absolute authority was broken. As the representatives filed out, Miller and Dr. Peters prepared to return to Earth. "They'll try something desperate soon," Peters warned. "The old powers won't give up control easily." Miller nodded. "We know. That's why Phase 5 is already in motion." Above the Council world, hidden quantum sensors detected massive fleet movements. The old guard was gathering their forces for one final attempt to crush Earth's rebellion. But humanity was ready. The next phase of the war would decide not just Earth's fate, but the future of the entire galaxy. The political battle was over. The final military confrontation was about to begin. The largest fleet ever assembled in Council history gathered at their primary military base. 10,000 ships, representing the combined might of the elder races, prepared for what they believed would be a decisive battle against Earth. General Mason watched the enemy fleet's movements from the bridge of humanity's pride. "Right where we want them," he said, studying the tactical display. "Time to show them what Operation Thunderbolt can really do." Earth's counteroffensive began with a single ship appearing in the heart of the Council fleet. Before the aliens could react, it broadcasted a simple message: "You should have left us alone." Then chaos erupted. Quantum tunnels opened throughout the Council formation. Earth ships emerged from impossible angles, their weapons already firing. But these weren't normal weapons. They were specifically designed to disable rather than destroy. "Target their command and control systems," Colonel White ordered. "Let them see what real warfare looks like." The Council fleet tried to respond with their traditional tactics. They formed defensive spheres, concentrated their fire, and attempted to overwhelm the human ships with sheer numbers. But Earth's forces had trained for this moment. Human ships phased through enemy formations, their quantum drives allowing them to ignore physical barriers. Advanced AI systems predicted and countered every Council strategy before it could be implemented. "They're still fighting like it's a standard space battle," Dr. Peters observed from her command post. "They haven't realized we're fighting in 4 dimensions." Earth's ships moved in patterns that seemed random to the Council commanders, but were actually part of a complex battle dance. Each movement opened up new vulnerabilities in the enemy fleet's formation. Captain Rogers led a squadron through the heart of the Council formation. "Remember the plan," he told his pilots. "Don't destroy their ships unless absolutely necessary. We want them to witness their own defeat." Council ships found their weapon systems mysteriously offline. Communication networks fell silent. Navigation systems pointed in wrong directions. The mighty alien fleet was being systematically dismantled without a single ship being destroyed. "Impossible," the Council fleet commander broadcast on all frequencies. "How are they doing this?" The answer came in the form of thousands of small devices that had attached themselves to Council ships during the chaos. Each one was a quantum tech disruptor, designed to turn the aliens' own technology against them. "Your mistake," General Mason transmitted back, "was thinking that size equals strength. We learned long ago that precision beats power." Earth ships executed complex maneuvers that the Council's tactical computers couldn't even process. They appeared to be in multiple places simultaneously, using quantum uncertainty as a weapon. "Look at their formation," Colonel White pointed out. "They're still trying to fight as individuals. They never learned to truly work together." The battle reached its turning point when Earth unveiled its masterstroke. Hidden quantum beacons activated throughout the battlefield, creating a maze of overlapping fields that trapped Council ships in a 4-dimensional web. "All ships, execute final phase," Mason ordered. The human fleet moved in perfect synchronization, herding the trapped Council vessels into a massive containment zone. Within hours, the largest fleet in Council history had been effectively neutralized without a single ship being destroyed. "Send the message," Mason commanded. Every screen on every Council ship lit up with the same transmission. "Your era of dominance is over. The galaxy's future belongs to those who dare to innovate." The Council fleet, pride of the elder races, hung helpless in space. Their mighty weapons were useless. Their advanced shields meant nothing. Their vast numbers had become a liability rather than an advantage. Dr. Peters' voice came through the command channel. "We're detecting surrender signals from 80% of their ships. The rest are powering down their weapons." The counteroffensive had succeeded beyond all expectations. Earth had not just defeated the Council's fleet. They had done it while demonstrating a level of technological and tactical superiority that shattered the old power's confidence forever. "All ships, stand down to containment positions," Mason ordered. "Let's show them how a civilized species handles victory." The battle was over, but its impact would echo through the galaxy for generations to come. Humanity had not just won a military victory. They had revolutionized the very nature of space warfare. And they were just getting started. The aftermath of Operation Thunderbolt sent shockwaves through the galaxy. In the Council's central chamber, once loyal member races openly declared their independence. The carefully maintained power structure of millennia crumbled in days. Ambassador Miller stood before the Council again, but this time the atmosphere was different. The elder race's representatives sat silently, their previous arrogance replaced by grim acceptance. The younger species delegates crowded around Earth's section, eager to establish new alliances. "Humanity offers a choice," Miller announced. "Continue fighting a war you cannot win, or help us build a galaxy based on cooperation rather than control." Dr. Peters presented data showing how Earth's military innovations could be adapted for peaceful purposes. "Quantum drive technology can revolutionize trade," she explained. "Our breakthroughs in energy manipulation could end resource scarcity across the galaxy." The Council's ancient power structure started breaking apart piece by piece. The first to officially switch allegiance was the Mercator Federation, a group of trading worlds that had long chafed under Council restrictions. "We watched how Earth fought," their representative declared. "They could have destroyed their enemies, but chose precision over destruction. That's the kind of leadership the galaxy needs." General Mason coordinated with the defecting races from humanity's pride. Each new ally brought valuable intelligence about Council military positions and secret installations. The old power's defensive network was collapsing from within. "Look at their battle tactics," one alien military advisor observed, studying footage of Earth's victories. "They don't just fight, they innovate during combat. Each engagement teaches them something new." The Council's head of military affairs privately met with Colonel White. "How?" he asked simply. "How did you advance so quickly?" White's answer was equally simple. "We never stopped learning. Your civilization reached a point where it thought it knew everything. We know we never will." More Council races began adopting Earth's military doctrine. Ships that once moved in rigid formations now practiced quantum maneuvers. Crews that relied on brute force learned the value of adaptation and innovation. Dr. Peters oversaw the sharing of technical knowledge with Earth's new allies. "We're not just teaching them to use our technology," she reported to Miller. "We're teaching them how to improve it, how to think beyond established limits." The Council's final attempt to maintain control came when they threatened to reveal dark secrets about Earth's history. Miller's response stunned them. "Go ahead," he said calmly. "We've never claimed to be perfect. Our history has dark chapters, but we learn from our mistakes. Can you say the same?" That transparent honesty won Earth even more supporters. Young races saw a new path forward, one where past mistakes were acknowledged and learned from, not hidden behind veils of superiority. Captain Rogers led a diplomatic mission to a cluster of neutral worlds. "Earth doesn't want subjects or servants," he told their leaders. "We want partners, equals who will help us explore the universe's mysteries." The breaking point came when the Council's own military began to fracture. Entire fleets declared their independence, adopting Earth's tactics and technology. The old powers found themselves without the means to enforce their will. Your choice is simple. Miller addressed the Council one final time. Evolution or extinction. Not through war, but through irrelevance. The galaxy will move forward. Will you move with it? In orbit above the Council homeworld, Earth's fleet maintained its vigilant watch. But now they were joined by ships from dozens of allied races, all incorporating human innovations into their designs. Look at them working together. Mason observed as mixed crews of humans and aliens conducted joint exercises. This is what we fought for. Not dominance, but partnership. The old Council's authority was permanently broken. In its place, a new alliance was forming, one based on mutual respect and shared progress rather than control and stagnation. Dr. Peters summarized it best in her report to Earth's leadership. We didn't just win a war. We sparked a revolution in how civilizations interact. The galaxy will never be the same. The final phase of humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage was about to begin. The age of the Council was over. The age of innovation and cooperation was about to dawn, and Earth would lead the way. 1 year after Operation Thunderbolt, representatives from 100 worlds gathered in Earth's new Galactic Assembly building in Geneva. The massive structure combined architectural styles from dozens of civilizations, symbolizing the new era of cooperation. Ambassador Miller stood before the assembled delegates. The room was different from the old council chamber. Instead of ranked tiers showing status, all seats were arranged in a circle of equals. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter in galactic history, Miller began. Not because of Earth's victory, but because we all chose a better path forward. General Mason and Colonel White had transformed their military command into the new Galactic Defense Force. Ships from former Council worlds trained alongside Earth vessels, sharing techniques and technologies. The key was breaking free from old thinking, Dr. Peters explained to a group of alien scientists. Look at how combining our different approaches has already led to breakthroughs none of us could have achieved alone. The former Council leader, now serving as a regular delegate, approached Miller privately. We were wrong about humanity, he admitted. We saw your rapid advancement as a threat. We never considered it might be our salvation. Earth's influence spread through the galaxy, not through force, but through innovation. The quantum drive technology that had won the war now powered trade ships, cutting journey times between worlds from months to days. Captain Rogers commanded the first joint exploration mission into unknown space. His crew included members from 15 different species, each bringing unique perspectives and abilities to their shared mission. This is what humanity always dreamed of, he told his diverse crew. Not conquering the stars, but exploring them together. The old Council's restricted zones were open for research. Teams of scientists from multiple worlds made discoveries that had been hidden for millennia. Knowledge flowed freely between civilizations for the first time in galactic history. Look at these advancement rates, Dr. Peters showed in her annual report. When civilizations compete, progress is linear. When they cooperate, it becomes exponential. Earth's military innovations transformed into peaceful applications. Quantum tunneling technology revolutionized mining operations. Shield systems adapted to protect planets from natural disasters. Weapons research facilities became centers for energy development. We're not just sharing technology, Miller explained to the assembly. We're sharing ways of thinking. The human drive to question, to imagine, to improve. These are our real gifts to the galaxy. The younger races that had supported Earth flourished under the new system. Their worlds, once held back by Council restrictions, developed rapidly. Trade routes multiplied. Cultural exchanges became common. The galaxy grew smaller and richer at the same time. General Mason oversaw the conversion of military bases into research centers. The best defense isn't weapons, he told graduating officers. It's making sure every world has a stake in peace. A new age of exploration began. The combined knowledge and resources of hundreds of worlds funded missions into unexplored space. Earth ships led the way, but never alone. Every expedition included crews from multiple worlds. "We've mapped more new systems in 1 year," Colonel White reported, "than the Council did in a century. Amazing what happens when you encourage curiosity instead of restricting it." The old power structure was gone forever. In its place, a network of mutual cooperation and shared advancement emerged. Worlds that once competed now collaborated. Species that once feared each other now learned from each other. Dr. Peters summed it up in her speech to the first Galactic Science Congress. "The Council thought controlling knowledge meant controlling power. We proved that sharing knowledge multiplies power." One small symbol marked the complete transformation of galactic society. The term alien fell out of use, replaced by fellow explorers, or simply neighbors. Ambassador Miller's final act before retiring was to propose the Galactic Charter of Rights, guaranteeing freedom of development for all species. It passed unanimously. "Remember this moment," he told the Assembly, "not as the day Earth won a war, but as the day the galaxy chose to grow beyond war." The future stretched out before them, infinite in its possibilities. Humanity had not just earned its place among the stars, it had helped create a new way for civilizations to reach for them together. The age of the Council was over. The age of cooperation had begun. And somewhere out there, the next great adventure was waiting for all of them to discover it together.